and welcome to episode 471 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mark. Now, it's been a couple of weeks since my last episode. I had a bit of time off, went down to Wales with my family, and just had a bit of a break. But do you know what? It made me miss you guys more, so it hasn't been too long, and I'm back today with a brand new episode, and this time round, I'm with a huge guest. The one, the only, and I use this word very rarely, absolute legend, Myles Kennedy. Yes, we get to sit down and talk all about Alter Bridge. We get to talk about their brand new album. It's a little while off yet. It's not going to be out until like January the 9th, but I'm excited for it. They're also going to be over in the UK for their own Blackbird Festival next year, so go and get yourself a ticket for that. It's in Cardiff, it's in June. They're playing with Skindred, Florence Black, Cardinal Black. It's going to be fucking awesome. And I can safely say that this interview with Myles is one of my favourite I've ever done. He's a hero of mine, one of the greatest singers of our generation, and we share a lot of love for dogs. So all that's coming up in just a couple of minutes' time. But before I get to it, let's quickly touch base and talk about my last episode. A couple of weeks ago, which seems a long time in the Mark and Me world, I was joined by Amy from the great band Witch Fever. They've just come back off tour with Volbeat and Bush. The album is astonishing. Go and check it out. And thanks to everyone that listened to that interview with me and Witch Fever. But today it's all about the hero, the legend, the absolute all-round just superhero. I'm going to say it. He's just an absolute legend. Here is me and Myles Kennedy talking all things Alter Bridge. So Myles, welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, what I do with all guests that come on, I've never changed it even since day one, is I love to go on a bit of a trip down memory lane. And for the listeners at home today, they are going to be wanting to know, when you were growing up at that very young age, maybe it was with your pocket money or a friend or family, what was the first album that you actually went out and bought with your own money?
The very first album I bought with my own money was Queen News of the World.
Yeah. See, that's awesome. Most people are like, I don't like to admit this, it's embarrassing, but you're straight in there with an absolute classic from one of the greatest bands of all time.
Yeah, it was funny too, because I remember I heard We Will Rock You and into We Are the Champions as a kid, and I just loved it. And then one day I learned that you could actually buy music. And I was like, wait, so I could play that whenever I wanted? I didn't have to sit at the radio all day. So I started saving my allowance, and then bought it at a store called Kmart in the United States. And it was an important day in my life.
I've said this before, but isn't it important that when you've gone and spent your own money, even if you've gone out and bought a rubbish album, you would have loved it anyway, because it took so much time and effort to get that bit of money to buy an album that you couldn't just stream or buy one every week. You'd have to make that one count.
I know that's a really good point. It's like, I'm glad I didn't buy a bad record, because then, I would have been beholden to it, and would probably have had a lot of really subpar music influence me later in life.
But it's so true. One of my first ones was Guns N' Roses' Use Your Illusion 2, which I had on cassette. And I had Green Day, and then obviously Nirvana, Nevermind, and all those albums that came through then led to Pearl Jam and all those bands I listened to. But I was really lucky that I think it was Woolworths back in the day, so it was about £12. So it cost me like 2 weeks worth of doing a paper round to just afford it. But luckily, Use Your Illusion 2 is a good album, so I was like, thank God this money and all these papers I've done and carrying these big bags of newspapers was worth it.
Right? Well, that's great.
So what about live music? It changed for me when I was very lucky. My parents dropped me off in Wolverhampton. They said, don't talk to anyone, just go watch the band and meet us back here as soon as the band finishes. But it was Green Day on their Dookie tour, so I was really lucky. That was my first live music experience.
Wow, that's a good one.
Was yours great? Is this the moment that it suddenly gets embarrassing, or you're going to be like, oh yeah, I saw AC/DC?
Oh, I no, I wish I just, I wish I could. The problem is my folks wouldn't allow me to see a concert until I turned 16 or nearly 16. So
Ah, okay.
they were concerned about my well-being, right? So the first show that came through after I hit that milestone was Sammy Hagar on the, I think it's the V, it was called the VOA tour. So this would have been like the mid 80s. So that was my first experience at a rock and roll show, and he was great. I mean, he definitely, great front man and all that. But so the first band technically I saw was the band that opened for him, a band called Zebra, and they kind of were had elements of Led Zeppelin, which I loved, and so that was, it was a good introduction into the live realm.
So, did you know from a young age, obviously, to try and talk about your whole career and the time we've got is absolutely impossible, but from a young age, were you like, I really want to just be in a band, or was it a bit later on? Did you do the whole Battle of the Bands thing at school and college, or were you just like, I'll wait for the right time because my parents are probably going to be like, get a real job, son, and you need to go out there and earn money instead of like dreaming?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I wanted to do something with music pretty early on. I got bit by the bug pretty hard. I was pretty obsessed. So yeah, I put together bands with my buddies starting when I was probably around 15 or 16. At that point, I hadn't been playing that long, so we were pretty awful. But yeah, we did, Battle of the Bands and all that. And then it was kind of like way led to way. And then before I knew it, I was playing in clubs as a teenager, and we weren't even old enough to be in there, but they would have like a little room. We'd play sometimes like 4 hours a night, 6 nights a week, playing covers, maybe putting a few originals in here and there, and then everything just kind of kept evolving. So what happened is once I decided I wanted to really focus on trying to be like a recording artist and get
Yeah.
a record deal and do the whole thing. That was when I was in my early 20s, and I remember talking with my stepfather, the deal was, like, okay, so, follow your bliss, son, do what you want to do, but should you consider like having a cutoff point where it's like then you go back to school and become an adult? And I was like, all right, cool. How about 25? So everything just kept getting, I kept working and hustling, and finally, when I was 25, nothing had quite happened yet, and so I was like, do I hang this up and go back to school and become an English teacher? And then I was like, no, I can't hang it up. Unfortunately, I didn't, because within about a year or so, then things really started moving pretty quickly for me.
So your dad was like, look, you can have one more year, but that's it. Like, that's an extension. That's it. No more after that. As soon as you're
Exactly.
27, you're going to be working in a shop.
You're going to be working in a coal mine, kid. Um, no, I think, the cool thing about my folks is they were just trying to kind of help me in the sense that, I was just frustrated. I didn't feel like life was moving forward. So,
Yeah.
I would, there was never like anything they were dangling where it's like, well, if you go to school, we're going to get you, because I didn't come for money by any stretch of the imagination. I think they were just trying to offer me parental advice as far as how to navigate life. But I'm very fortunate. They were very supportive of me just doing what I loved, which is cool.
Has it been awesome to kind of now show that it was all worth the payoff? And now that you're 25 years later, having the time of your life, playing in the biggest stages, festivals all around the world, has it been like, see, it was worth that extra 12 months, Dad?
You know what? It's tenfold that. It's been not just that, but being able to help your parents
Yeah.
and do little things like that, where it's like, what a gift for me to have the opportunity, and the fact that my parents are still alive, and those are the things that family. It's sacred.
It's strange, isn't it? My dad's 88, so I feel he's like quite old. I'm 43 now, so he had me a bit later. It's weird, isn't it? Like back then, people would have kids all the time in 20s and 30s, but my dad was 44, so everyone's like, oh my God, that's really late in life. Like you're really old to have a kid. But now I completely see how we switch roles. Like I'm looking after him, I'm making sure he's okay, I'm checking in on him all the time,
Right.
I'm going to take him to have food out and stuff. And it's just, you don't see that growing up. There's a point in your life where you just switch and you don't even notice it. And then before you know it, you're like, oh yeah, like I'm now his parent looking after him, making sure he's
Right.
okay.
It's a circle of life. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
I find something very, I don't know, it's very comforting about watching that happen. I've been watching like my wife Selena and how she is with her dad who's now like 91, and how she's been for the last decade. I've watched her just it's incredible, but it's so beautiful. Yeah, things it look like it's family.
Yeah,
Family's
it is. It's. I
yeah,
feel like there's this thing of like giving back. It's like, thanks,
yeah,
Dad. Like, now it's time
yeah.
to pass the baton back, and I will repay you for the years and years of what you've done for me.
So let me, if you don't mind me asking,
Of course.
do you have children of your own or?
Only furry ones. We've got 3 dogs. That's it. So they're just as a handful. We've just had 2 puppies that are almost 7 months old, but they keep us on our toes.
Right. Same thing with us. We have just furry ones as well. So do you ever, for me, like watching this dynamic with my parents and myself, and then my wife
Yeah.
and her dad, do you ever wonder like what happens once I get to that point where the furry ones aren't going to be taken
I
care of?
know, I know. It's a weird one because it's strange, isn't it? Because my group of friends around me, the older I get, I've said this on podcasts before. I always wanted to be really popular growing up, and I wanted to have thousands of friends. But I realised that they're just mates or people that you associate with. To have real close family friends that you absolutely love, trust, and you know that it's not a one-way thing, so you can do stuff for someone and not take it for granted, and they'll do it back, and it's just effortless. I can count those people on one hand now, and I'm really grateful for those people, and I love them to death, and I'll do anything for them. But all those people around me aren't parents. Like, it's weird. It's just the more people I make friends with, and great, get these really good friendships in place. It's really rare now that a lot of my friends are having children, so I don't
Interesting.
feel as isolated. I feel like it's going to be okay,
Right.
but it's a daunting feeling in my head when I'm like, but who's going to pick me up, and who's going to take me for dinner, and who's going to make sure I'm okay? But I don't know. I hope I can train some dogs to be able to do that.
Right. Well, the good news is maybe by the time we're at that stage, humanoids will do it for us.
Yeah, there'll be an
They'll help
AI
us out.
dog. Yeah.
Exactly. So fingers crossed.
But it's a weird one, isn't it? Because you kind of take it for granted, and you just kind of, like I said, I stopped one day and I think I was just helping my dad out the car to a restaurant, and I thought, bloody hell, I've become his carer, like in a good way. Like, oh, I'm
Right.
there for him. This is great. But yeah, it's only when you stay on the spot when I think about it, I'm like, oh shit, like maybe I need to get some kids.
Yeah.
Invest now.
Right. No,
But
it's crossed my mind as well. I mean, I love kids too, but for whatever reason, I have as I like to refer to, we have a little Shih Tzu named Mozart, and he's our furry toddler.
yeah. People don't understand as well. Like, I saw someone the other day, one of my friends was saying, oh, I'm really struggling at the moment. Being a parent is so demanding. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, dude, wait till you have 2 puppies. That's when it goes crazy. Like, you've got
Right.
nothing to moan about. But I'll show you now, because this is what always happens when you have to talk about your dogs. But this is and the listeners won't really care, but we've got 2 little Yorkshire Terriers.
Oh, those are adorable.
They're May and June, and they're 6 months old, and we've had them since they were 2 months old. And my God, I literally never stop now. Everyone's like, are you doing any podcasting this week? I'm like, dude, I've got 2 puppies. Like, I can't do anything anymore.
Those are good. That's a good little dog too. Selena, when she was growing up, she had 2 Yorkies.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
amazing.
They are amazing. I love people are like, oh, you're a dude, you should have a big, Rottweiler or
No.
whatever. But I love little ducks. They have so much personality. The other day we were in Germany, and it was like a rainy morning, and I got up just to do a walk and grab a coffee. And there was this woman riding a bike, and she was going pretty fast. And I did like a double take. I was like, what is on the side? What's at the bottom of the bike? And it was this little dog, little white,
Oh my
it looked
God.
like it could have been like kind of a Yorkie sized dog. And it was totally keeping up with it, like running at the speed
Jesus.
of light. Yeah, I keep thinking about that because relatively speaking, it was like a cheetah. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
moving so quickly, but I couldn't help but start. I wanted to take my phone out and start recording. Then I thought she would think I was some weird stalker.
Yeah, like, what are you doing filming my dog? I'm like,
Yeah, right, right.
have you seen how fast that thing's running?
It was crazy.
Ah, dogs, man. I could talk
They're the
about
best.
dogs all day, every day, and then I will. But yeah, you've made me now panic. So when my wife gets home from work tonight, I'm gonna be like, look, we need to have some kids. I've just been talking to Miles, and we're like, we've not invested. These dogs aren't going to be able to take me to get McDonald's or some food or cook. So we just need to start again.
She's gonna be real pissed at me.
Do
I
not
can't
interview him
around.
ever again.
Yeah, exactly. Screw that
Fuck
guy.
that guy, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
So, back to your music. We need to talk, obviously, about Alter Bridge, which blows my mind that it's over 20 years, 21 years ago, which is frightening because I remember your debut coming out. I remember it all happening. And did you, and I know it's difficult, ever have any kind of expectations from what would come from this band? Did you sit down with the rest of the guys and say, we want to headline a festival or we want to have a number one album? Or was it, let's just get together, write some tunes, have no expectations, and enjoy the ride?
Well, I think, when you get together, it would be disingenuous not to say that you hope for, some of the things you just popped off,
Yeah.
right? That you hope there'll be some success to allow you to continue to do it. My issue is that I was always taught to have very realistic expectations. And every time a door would open along the way, even from going back to what we were just talking about, when the door finally opened and I got my first real record deal, I got in the room and I was just kind of like, I can't believe this happened. I've somehow fooled people into thinking I should get a record deal. This is
Imposter syndrome's kicking in.
I totally have a problem. When I'm
Yeah.
I'm that guy. And so every time you reach a milestone, you're like, oh shoot, it happened. I can't believe this. So it's kind of the same thing with this, where you hope you can have enough success to continue it to some degree, and you're not going to be going back to digging ditches anytime soon. But it's like, if you'd have told me 21 years ago that this would have all taken place, I probably would have had a pretty difficult time fathoming it, because the odds of having success in this business are
Yeah.
slim to none. So I'm grateful, and I think that's part of why I personally still keep working as hard as I do, because I'm always afraid that someone's going to
Wake you up.
wake. Yeah, exactly.
This was all a
So,
dream. Come on, get back to the shop.
yeah, get back to the shop. So yeah, it's been a good ride.
Have you ever been able to, and I know it sounds bizarre, but I believe not everyone does this. Have you ever been able to take a step back, reflect, and see just how far you've come? Because those early shows, not everyone's wearing your t-shirt. You haven't even got t-shirts at the very start. The crowds are getting bigger. More people are singing back to you. You're not supporting bands anymore. You're starting to headline, and more bands are supporting you. At the festival, your name goes up the poster, and you see yourself getting onto a bigger stage and then higher up. Have you ever really been able to kind of take a complete step back and go, whew, like, this is awesome. Like, this has really blown up to something huge.
Hmm. I don't know if it's funny, because I almost don't allow myself to. I'm afraid if I do that, complacency would set in. There's something about always operating from being the underdog.
I love that. Yeah.
If you continue to think of yourself as an imposter, and that you in question, do I belong hanging with these cats? That you'll keep working hard.
Yeah.
I think the minute you start going, yeah, and you look around and go, yeah, I should be here, and it's like, that's when it's like you're doomed. Then the quality of work could, start to go south. So, I think it's just that's kind of how I seem to operate the best, to try to maintain some level of hunger.
Yeah, that's good. And I do, I'm not saying I'm anywhere near the level of you, but with my podcast, I've done live shows, I've done big festivals now all across the UK, and I've never really took a step and looked, because I think I'd panic. I think I'd be like, oh my God, what the hell? This is too much. So I just kind of keep riding the wave, and until I fall off, I'm going to just keep on going and not look anywhere else but ahead.
Well, and I like that analogy too, because it's kind of like, and I brought this up before when I talk about this sort of thing. The first thing that I learned when I was being taught how to drive a car is you keep your hands 10 and 2 on the steering wheel, and you don't look to the left and you don't look to the right. Keep your eyes straight ahead to keep the car straight. And I feel like that's how you navigate life as well. Because if
Yeah.
you keep taking your eyes off the road, you're going to drive into a ditch. And so it just keep moving forward. Don't, I feel like it's fun for people to say, oh, stop and smell the roses, look at the things you've achieved and blah blah blah. Well, okay. I mean, maybe for a split second. You ever seen Vacation?
Yes. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies, and I feel like there's so many life lessons throughout that movie. But there's the part where Clark Griswold and his wife they get to the Grand Canyon, and it's one of the places they're trying to get to. And she's like, "Look, Clark, look, look at the Grand Canyon." And Chevy Chase's character, he just walks up to her, puts his arm around her, and does this for a second. Okay, let's go. And it's kind of the same thing. It's
I
like,
hear you.
okay, we
Yeah.
can assess the vast beauty of the Grand Canyon, but now let's go. We got to move on to the next thing.
Oh, now I want to watch that film. I haven't seen that for years.
So good.
So, so good.
The
I always
best.
watch one of my favorite films ever. I'm sure you've seen it, Almost Famous with Cameron Crowe.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a classic.
That's one that always teaches me because obviously the guy's going out interviewing bands like Sabbath and wants to be on the road and not kind of never gives up, even though his magazine's never going to be the front cover of Rolling Stone. I always think eventually it'll happen. Like as the end of the film happens, spoiler for anyone that hasn't seen it, but you finally get your piece out there. You get the treasure at the end of the rainbow, and I think it takes a long time, but as long as you keep looking, it'll happen.
I believe that I've seen it happen time and time again. People are like, and oftentimes it's not the people, and just words of advice from a guy who's been on the planet for a little while is like you think, oh, you look at this person, go, that person's so much more intelligent than I am, or that person's more talented, or that person's more attractive. And you're like, they're going to go way farther in life. And I tell you, I've seen it time and time again where it's the person who just keeps going.
Yeah.
They show up every day. They put in the work. And those are the ones that tend to get from point A to point B and don't rest on, whatever they've been given as their sole means of getting through life. It's those that take what they've been given, and it may be not that much, but they just put in the time and put in the work. That's so
Yeah,
important.
I've been going to therapy and I've been learning a lot about myself, and especially after 40, I think everything changes. You kind of wake up and go, why am I here? What am I meant to be doing? Like, what is life all about? And we did a exercise a couple of weeks ago when we had a picture and there was a guy in the corner looking really miserable, really sad, depressed. There was a guy with his girlfriend having a meal, enjoying the moment, enjoying the food. There was another guy chatting up a whole group of girls and trying to impress them all. And they said, who do you think's the most confident here? And I was like, well, obviously the guy in front of all the girls trying to show off. And he's like, no, he left the house that day wanting to find something he hasn't got. It's all about the guy sitting, having a meal with his girlfriend, enjoying the moment, not looking at anywhere else. He has nothing to worry about. He's got no one to impress. It's just about living in the moment. And I was like, fuck, that's powerful. That's like really
Yeah.
hit me hard.
It's that you look, I'm a firm, like, I think I kind of stumbled onto that philosophy a few years back, and maybe I talked about it a little too much. Anybody who's seen some interviews with me, I think starting probably like 2018 or 19, I really started getting into the idea of being present,
Yeah.
but it really, talk about a game changer. I mean, that what you just said, that's really all you need to
Yep.
you just be grateful, and gratitude is the attitude. Stay right here, right now. All that other stuff, it just
It's
gets in
easier
the
said
way.
than done because you
It
wake up
is.
every day and you want to always, the dream is to be the guy invited to the party and be the guy that's there and don't say no and turn up to this and turn up to that. But sometimes it's nice just to be in the moment and just not look too far ahead. Don't look back at all the shit that's happened and just be grateful for being here right now. And I've done that a lot this year. And we might
Great.
only be in October, but it's been a fucking good year.
That's great to hear, man. I'm really happy for
Yeah.
you because I think that's the key. That's people are like, what's the meaning of life? To me, I mean, it's subjective, but I feel like what you just said, though, that's kind of it. It's pretty
Yeah.
simple.
Find out that it's okay to be in the moment.
Yeah, without
Stop
a doubt.
reaching out for everything else. But it's easier said than done. So anyone listening thinking it's not that easy, it isn't easy. It's took me 43 years to realize, but now I do know I'm trying to do it every day.
Yep.
Wow. So with Alter Bridge, you have the Blackbird Festival coming over here in 2026, which is going to be absolutely awesome.
We're excited. It's been something that we've kind of talked about for a while, but we're like, this is the year. Let's do it. Let's take taking a big risk, but
It's awesome, dude. Like I've seen so much talk about it being in the UK, and everyone was like, "It's not going to happen." And then there's posters on Facebook that hinted at it, but people were still saying, "Oh, it might be a like an AI mock-up, or it might not really happen. But then when you announce Skindred, who are, oh my God, like for a band to be in Wales at Cardiff Castle, you're not going to get anyone bigger to get you guys warmed up. Florence Black, one of the greatest names out there right now. It's going to be an epic day.
Yeah, we're stoked, and
Yeah.
we're really kind of touched by the response. We didn't know if anyone would care, and we're feeling it. We're feeling the excitement, and yeah, it's funny you talk about Skindred. It's like I've seen those guys enough over the years. I'm like, how in the hell are we going to follow those guys?
Yeah.
But we'll do our best. But man, what a great live band. Yeah, everybody. I mean, Cardinal Black. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah,
Chris Buck's
definitely.
one of my, I mean, all-time favorite guitar players. That guy. He's what a gift. What a gift he is to the guitar nerd scene. You know.
It's absolutely awesome. So much stuff happening as well. Loads of tour dates as well. Like you're going everywhere and anywhere in Europe, and February is insane because we get a few chances to see you in the UK. It must be exciting. It must feel like, I mean, you're playing the AO Arena in Manchester, which is one of my favourite venues. The sound in that place is unbelievable.
It
Loads of great
is.
arenas. The O2. I feel like it's all happening at the moment. It's manically busy, but it must be exciting.
It's super exciting. And once again, it's just I don't know how it all worked out this way. I don't know how, it really, I'm grateful, but we'll just keep riding it out, and just keep trying to make the best decisions we can to maintain this whole thing. But this part of the world has been, the UK in
Yeah.
particular, and we really do kind of owe everything to people here and how they've embraced us really from the beginning. I remember we did a show this little, I think it was on a university. It was like downstairs at some little club, and it was like probably 2005, early 2005. And I remember we played it and it went really well. And our agent at the time came in and he said, "You guys are going to eventually play Wembley Arena." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "No, I can." He's like, "I can gauge it by how people are reacting here." And I'm like, "Really? Okay, I'll take that at face value." And he turned out to be right. So yeah, it's been a bit of a shocker, but in a good way. Once in a while, life surprises you, and this is definitely that. So thank you.
Cards on the table time. I'm really intrigued when you've been so successful working with Slash, playing at Download, all these incredible milestones that you've ticked off along the way, all because you've worked hard. Is there still moments that you get really nervous? Do you look out and think, oh my God, like I really need to turn this on right now. I need to switch on and go out there and put on the best show I can, because some days you don't feel it. Some days you might be tired. You might have distractions. You might have life getting in the way. It isn't always easy to put a mask on and switch on the I'm a rock star now. I need to entertain the people.
Sure. That is, it's funny. I actually this morning was an example of that. Even though I'm not playing on stage, we had a long day of talking about things, and just to maybe I'm giving away too much information, but we were in Paris 2 days ago, and somehow I ended up with food poisoning,
Oh no.
and it was just the last 48 hours were brutal. And I woke up this morning going, how am I going to pull this off? My body's just, I don't feel very good. I feel great now, but it was, I remember laying there going, you know what, man, you've been in situations where I actually had that happen 10 years ago with Slash, and we were playing the Manchester Arena. And I remember having to just, I don't know what it is with me and food poisoning. People are
Yeah,
like, sure, it's food
stop
poisoning. It's 'cause
eating
you're
in the
drinking.
UK.
Yeah, right. No, but each time it was I was eating elsewhere. The last time it happened, I ate oysters in Amsterdam, so I think the moral of the story. And I had sushi in Paris. So the moral of the story is no more raw fish or no
There you
more
go. No fish in
seafood.
Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like I remember just you literally I have to go out in front of X amount of thousand of people, and I have to get past this because no one cares if I didn't feel good this morning. What they care about is that they spent their hard-earned money to hopefully have an enjoyable evening. And
Yeah.
so screw you and your little problems, buddy. Get up there and do what you do. And somehow I managed to get through it. Somehow I think just the love of the game helps get me through it. But some days it's harder than others. I'm not gonna lie. And you
I
do the
just
best.
sometimes think there's not many other jobs where you need to turn it on in that exact moment. Some other jobs you can be like, look, can I just have a couple of hours off, or can I come in a bit later? Or do you know what? I'm not very well. I'll come in and catch up and play. Maybe do an extra day, or I'll work tomorrow. If you're in a band that's due on stage at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and it's a day you're not feeling it, or you're ill, or you're just feeling shit, you don't get a. Do you know what? Can we do this tomorrow instead?
Right. Right. I agree. It's this, that's just not the way it works. So, you kind of learn certain ways of getting yourself
Yeah.
in that mindset, putting on your game face. And those have got me through the challenging moments.
Right now, as we're sitting here, people know there's a brand new album out in January the 9th, self-titled. I always find it crazy when bands are like, it's been quite a few many years now, let's pull out the self-titled album.
I know
It's
it kind of
exciting.
it kind of makes you wonder, like, why would you wait, 8
But
records
more
in?
bands are doing this. A lot of
Are
bands I'm
they?
speaking to, Idlewild, who I've just had on the podcast, brilliant band from Scotland, they were like, we're on album 10 now. I was like, what's it going to be called? Self-titled. I'm like, wow, wait till album 10, do it.
Right? Well, there you go. I mean, I think for us, I keep joking that it was laziness. Why'd you call it just self-titled? Well,
We
we're
didn't have a
lazy.
name.
That's easy. But I think a lot of it's just because this record kind of captures the essence of the band. That no matter what, when we've been taking the journey sonically, some records we would kind of veer to the left or veer to the right and incorporate different things arrangement
Yeah,
wise or texture. Maybe have some keyboards on this record or just a little bit. But at the end of the day, the sonic hallmarks are everything that you hear on this record.
yeah.
And that's what we leaned in on. And we kind of leaned forward, and that's what we're going to do on this. We'll have it like a ballad, and we'll have like an epic, but the heavier riffs with a certain intensity of the lyric, that's where we're going to go. And you know, so self-titled seemed apropos.
Is it really difficult when you're this kind of far into your career, you've got such a great back catalogue, trying to please the fans with a set list? Because everybody wants to hear the classics. I'm the same. I go and pay for a ticket to Pearl Jam. I want to see Black. I want to see Alive. I want to see all the classics that I've paid my money for. And at the same time, I also want to hear the new music because, you're about to get the new album. You want to hear these new songs live. If you've got the album already, you can't wait to see how they translate to kind of a performance and will it do the song justice. But as a performer, it must be difficult because you're like, we love playing new stuff. It's exciting. We're not playing the same song again and again. But you also need to keep the fans happy and make sure you get the right balance.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible because someone's going to leave bummed out. I mean, you can't, and you're not going to please everybody in the venue. So and as being someone who's hardwired to be a people pleaser, that kind of breaks my heart. But yeah, we have a finite amount of time to do what we do. And at the beginning, when we just had one record to tour on, we actually had to throw like covers in. It's like we don't
That's
have enough.
mad, isn't it?
You're right. And now we've got too many songs. So yeah, you just kind of rely on the songs are kind of the hallmarks of the set that the
Yeah.
fan expect you to play. And then yeah, you try to pepper in some of the new material. And on this upcoming tour, we're going to try and find a few tunes that are maybe a little more obscure from their previous catalog. Not a ton, but just enough to keep it interesting. But yeah, you bring up a good point. It's really difficult. And it makes me wonder how in the heck does a band like the Rolling Stones, who've been doing this since the
God.
60s,
Yeah.
how do they pick? I mean, and they've got so many freaking, massive hits. And how does that work?
I
So
reckon they must just put them all in a hat and just pick them out and be like,
yeah,
right, yeah, let's just go with that tonight. Because how do you please everyone? There's always going to be one guy that leaves going, I can't believe they didn't play that B-side from the first ever single that you could only buy on a Japanese import.
right, right. I mean, that's exactly right. You're that exactly.
And he's pissed off with you, Miles. He's
I
furious.
know. I'm so sorry.
He will find you and he'll be pissed off and maybe play it. Maybe play it on the next tour.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. If that happens, if for the person who wants us to play,
Yeah,
"Cruel Sun" or whatever that obscure track is that we released on a B-side,
there you go.
we did the best we could.
Does it still feel like, because I've only met you today, I'm 40 minutes in talking to you, but I feel like I get you, I understand you, I know you're very humble, you're all about people pleasing, which you've already said on today's episode, but you're genuine. You can tell that you are doing this because you want to do it. You're not just like, oh, fuck it, we'll do another tour for the sake of it. You do it because it's absolutely everything in you. You live it, you breathe it. Is there still stuff that you feel that you haven't ticked off? So I talked about when you started the band and you dreamed of playing, and your agent at the time said, you will play Wembley Arena, and you're like, fuck off, but you did. So is it like headline download, or is there certain points you're like, that would be the icing on the cake, or do you never look that far forward, as we have commented today?
Right. No, you know what? I feel like everything's been pretty much checked off as far as playing gigs. Would headlining download have been cool? Sure. But also a lot of pressure, right? You're talking about
Yeah.
the pressure gig. So there's a part of me. I'm funny that way. Downloading or headlining festivals, it seems like such a daunting task. And so what do? We go and put together our own festival where we have to headline,
Even more pressure, yeah.
yeah, right. But I think for me, it's more things like I woke up this morning thinking about this for some reason. I don't know why I was thinking it because I wasn't even listening to him, but I was like, it'd be really cool if I could just show up and heck, I would just sing backups on something if he wanted me to do it. It would be like to get in a studio with Nile Rodgers.
Oh my God, wow.
Like to me, like all the stuff the history he's had, and I love Chic and I love his guitar playing and I love the records he's done. I'm like, just to be able to do something like with that guy just on one song, I'd be happy. I mean, I feel like I've kind of been spoiled in that respect because I've been able to, be involved with so many great
Yeah.
musicians throughout the years. But that would certainly be one. I could probably sit here and come up with other things that would get me excited. Most of it's just like creative things where it's like what would really stimulate my brain creatively. I think as far as like gigs or any sort of opportunity in that sense, maybe not as much, but like I'm definitely still inspired by the idea of doing something somewhat unorthodox, in my genre, that kind of allows me to step out and stretch in a different way.
I've had this history of working with Kirsten, who's an incredible PR, and whenever we've done stuff, it's weird. We do 15, 20, 25 minute interviews, and we've had like Machine Head on, and then we've had Cradle of Filth. And whenever I've done an interview with Kirsten, it's weird. Like a couple of days later, it's in the press, like it's on Google. Someone has found an extract, and it's like this luck that we have. It doesn't matter who we have on. If me and Kirsten do a podcast, somehow it makes it onto Google News or Yahoo News and stuff. Now I'm laughing already, thinking it's going to say, you want to work with Nile Rodgers now, and like I'll see it on Google and it'll be like, Myles Kennedy says he wants to work with Nile Rodgers. And if it happens and he's like, oh yeah, that sounds great, give him a ring, get the management behind it, I want a thank you credit on the album.
Absolutely. You got it, brother.
Yeah, because that is a good headline to come from this. It's not controversial, it's not dirt, it's just, he wants to work with this guy. If you're listening, pick up the phone, let's make it happen.
You're making dreams come true.
That'll be it, yeah. And then
Right?
everyone will come on the podcast and be like, this is my dream. If you could make this happen for me, I'll be like, let's see what happens. We'll roll the dice. But what about away from music? Is there another book in you? Is there an art gallery you'd love to put on? Is there photography? Is there a film you want to direct? A soundtrack for a movie? Is there something you're like, I've got an itch, I need to do this?
So composing a soundtrack would be something that would definitely intrigue me. I
I
used to
can
do a
see
fair
you
amount
doing
of.
it as well, dude. I can see you doing it.
I would love that. I used to
Yeah.
do a little bit of it. That we had a fair amount of production houses in the town I'm in Spokane, Washington, and they would get involved with because they could basically outbid a lot of the LA studios, and so they
Yeah.
would do a fair. So I did a fair amount where I'd come in and play guitar on things for little films here and there. But last night I went and watched the new Tron movie.
How is it?
And
Because the reviews from the actual outlets are all saying it's shite, but all my good friends who are great film fans that love visuals, that love all the 3D and the absolute incredible Weta warehouse and all this said it's fucking flawless.
I went in with zero expectations. My
Yeah,
manager, Tim, wanted to go check it out. I needed to get out of my room because I hadn't been feeling good and I was starting to feel better. So I was like, I just need to go for a walk. Yeah, let's go watch it. And it was in 3D, so we had 3D glasses.
I've heard it
And
looks unreal.
you know what? I was pleasantly surprised. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the thing is that when you combine the visual element
Yeah.
with the soundtrack, with what
Oh,
Trent
Nine
Atticus
Inch
did,
Nails, man. Yeah.
like say no more. It was,
Mwah.
yeah, like exactly. So
I'm
I
gonna go
try
and
and see
see
it
it.
at
Yeah, I
theaters.
want to see it at cinema. I don't want to wait for it to come onto streaming. That has to be done
Nope.
in the biggest screen,
Yep.
IMAX. Yeah,
Do it that way. Because I remember thinking, I'm glad I didn't wait to stream this.
yeah.
Yeah. Go check it out. It's cool.
But that obviously makes you think. I'm listening to Trent. I'm listening to Nine Inch Nails. How those synths are working. Give me a film. You could do the same.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that. I'm a big fan of, um, you know, I'll watch films and oftentimes I'll listen to what's going on with the soundtrack. And it's funny how many times I've watched a film that I really like, and I'll be like, this soundtrack is amazing. And how much of the time it's Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead.
Oh my God, he's a absolute god.
He's the guy. Like he's the
Yeah,
guy. Like on those Paul Thomas Anderson films. Like what he integrates, what he brings to the party, it just elevates. And that's what I thought yesterday watching.
yeah.
This. I was like, this would be it's a good film visually, and everybody did a great job. But when you bring the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack into it, it elevates the film. Yeah, music's important in that sense.
Yeah, and I'm very big on. I'll go and see a film. I remember seeing There Will Be Blood, and I got back, and I was like, "Ah, those sounds were chilling. Like I need to listen to it isolated." And there's not many great soundtracks. There are obviously with songs, but as a score and as arrangements that can work so well without the visuals. Like they go so hand in hand with Paul Thomas Anderson's work. You know it's going to visually be absolutely breathtaking, but to isolate the soundtrack, put some good headphones on, get yourself a glass of something posh, and just sit back. You will get completely lost in it, and you're like, how did Johnny Greenwood or anyone else, any great composers, Trent Reznor, anybody, how did they even think of these ideas? It blows my mind.
I agree. It's a real gift, and it's something that because I always think about it when I'm watching the film. If I couldn't hear what I'm hearing, like would I have approached this?
Yeah.
Imagine just getting this blank canvas and you just get this visual image. How do you do that? You know?
And you get these incredible actors, like Paul Thompson. I haven't seen his new one with Leonardo DiCaprio. I want to go and see it as soon as possible. It's meant to be absolutely brilliant, but you just know you're going to be in for a treat visually and orally. You're going to be, the audio is going to be just, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that one too. My manager Tim saw that the night before, and he said it was really good. So
Yeah, so this
I'm
is a
gonna
good chance when you're over here and you get a bit of time off and you're recovering from food poisoning. Get to the cinema, go and treat yourself.
right.
Yeah. Our time's almost up, but what I do on this podcast, and it's something that I've done with every guest. So I've had Anthony Hopkins on here, Mads Mikkelsen, Kevin Smith, Aubrey Plaza, all different people from all different walks of life, but the same question opens the podcast and closes. And this will be a bit of a challenging one for you because you're an incredible musician that's had a whole life of music. But what we do at the very end is at the very end, when it's all edited and the world's ready to listen to me and you, the very end will have a piece of music that's played. And you get to choose the song that closes the podcast. I put you on the spot. It's cruel. You're looking at me like, you fucker. Like, can I email you in a couple of weeks, Mark? No. You've probably got 1,000 songs in your head right now. But I know it's tough, Miles, but on the spot, what's the song that came to your heart, your soul, when I asked the question before any other one that you would love to close out? And it can't be your own music.
Oh, I'm gonna since we're gonna circle back around here. Good times, a little chic.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Everyone will be like boogieing and dancing and happy and
that's
upbeat.
why not? We need to dance.
We've had depression, we've had therapy, we've had childhood, we've had Radiohead, we've had music scores, and now we get to all boogie and celebrate.
Yeah, it's a celebration, man. Absolutely.
I am so grateful for your time today, dude. It's flown by, absolutely
This
flown
has been
by.
fun.
I really hope in the future we can do more. Maybe face to face when you're over in
Yeah.
the. I've been busy, so I've had Mark Tremonti on. He's been on. We had an amazing chat, and it's always been over Zoom. And I'm really grateful for the way we can make it work. But maybe we just hook up and do something face to face.
I'm in. I would love that. I enjoyed this a lot. You're
Even if we
good.
just talk films for an hour, what films we love.
I would love that. Let's do it.
Awesome. I'll hold you to this, but good luck with the rest of the press. I hope you get to see the new Paul Thomas Anderson film as quickly as possible. But truly, dude, this means a lot. So thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
When will we see with open eyes that this disease brings them down every time?
So there it is. There's my interview with me and Myles Kennedy. God, just saying that out loud doesn't seem real, but it is. I can't wait to get him back on the podcast, hopefully face to face next year when he's over in the UK. Like I said, go and get yourself a ticket to the Blackbird Festival. It's a brand new festival in the UK, and Alter Bridge bring all their friends. It's going to be so good, and I can't wait to go along. I'll probably take my friends Scott and Darren. I don't even think we've even talked about it yet, but if they're listening to this, let's go along. Let's have a day out. That'll be awesome. Also, by that time, the brand new album from Alter Bridge will be out, which I can't wait for. It's self-titled and it's out in January. I've heard a couple of singles off it and it sounds absolutely phenomenal, so I can't wait for that. And if you're listening to this and you're a new time listener to Mark and me, as always, guys, please take the moment just to quickly share this episode. Do it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever socials you use. It'll only take you the click of a couple of buttons and it really will spread the word of Mark and me. Also, I have a Patreon account. I'm going to be releasing next week the first episode of the Lost Tapes, which are exclusive episodes which are only available to people that support me on Patreon. Exclusive episodes just for that. Unbelievable. You also get a welcome pack with stickers, badges, and so much more. And before I go, let's give a shout out to the sponsors of Mark and me. Richer Sounds, they are the best people out there if you want a TV or a new hi-fi. I don't think people use the word hi-fi anymore, but anything to do with audio and visual, headphones, whatever you want, go on richersounds.com or visit their high street stores. And if you love artwork, which is licensed by the best artists in the world, Vice Press. If you go on vicepress.com, add anything to your basket, literally anything, you will save yourself 10% if you use the discount code MarkandMe10. It doesn't get much better than that, and with Christmas coming up, there's so much stuff to choose from, and it's all official and licensed. Right, guys, I'm going to go because it's going to be very busy. I've had my 2-week holiday for the year now from Mark and me, and I'm going to be bringing you so many new episodes over the next couple of weeks. So until then, look after yourself, take care, and I'll speak to you all very soon.